Hello and welcome to another episode of Born to Ride with me, Neil Mackenzie. A few weeks ago we looked at grass track racing. This week we're looking at a sport that is very much linked to grass track, and that is Speedway.
My name's Lee Complin and I ride Speedway. I got involved with that through sponsors, and it's a professional sport. It's like my job, and it's a really good thing to be doing.
Story has it that Speedway started in America in 1902, but it wasn't until the early 1920s that it started to take off. The first UK Speedway meeting took place at Camberley Heath in Surrey on May 7, 1927.
It consists of 15 heats, and it's over 2 legs. You go to their home track and our home track. The meeting is like we go to their place, and it's say if they win us, which they've got an advantage because it's their home track. If they win us 60-40 or something around there, then we go to the second leg at our place. We start fresh, but if we win them by say 20 points, we draw overall, but we win our home meeting. It all depends on how many points you get over both of them to get the bonus point.
Nowadays, Speedway is ever growing more popular with more TV coverage than ever before and a professional league. But what is it about racing in Speedway?
I think because it gives me a buzz when I go out there, and just the fans, it's really good, the atmosphere. When you're sitting on your bike and you're going down back straight, there's so much noise from your bike, but you can still hear the crowd, cheering you on, and it's just the adrenaline you get out of it, about riding the bike, and I just like Speedway because it just gives me that extra adrenaline rush.
Our rider today is Lee Complin. Lee is 18 from Steeton in North Yorkshire.
I've been riding in competition since I've been about 6, but I first got my bike, which was a PW50, Christmas when I was about 3, nearly 4, and from then on I've always rode them whenever I can, if not Speedway, something else just to keep in shape or just to keep in with the biking.
Described as the next Joe Screen, Lee has a very exciting future ahead of him.
He's bright, quite intelligent, which is unusual, but he's a good rider with very good balance on the bike, which I think has got a very big plus for him.
I don't know, I think Lee's just an easygoing lad. He's really nice and polite, and anyone can get on with him. He's really, really good to get on with, and also he can be very grown up as well when you're talking to him, and he's a nice lad.
Lee rides for a professional Speedway team, and tonight they're racing in the home leg semi-final of the Young Shield against Stoke Potters.
I ride for Sheffield Protect Tigers, which is based in Sheffield, and it consists of 7 lads, or men if you want to call them that, and it's all about a team effort. It consists of 15 heats, which we all got to try and get as many points as we can, and all our points are added up at the end to the end, so it depends who wins, who's got the most points over. The race on Thursday, it all starts where we get the bikes ready. We all get given a tyre at the meeting, we don't bring our own, and then it'll have 15 heats. First we'll have a parade, then we'll get straight on with the racing, which is a 15 heat race. 4 laps per race, and I think we might have an interval halfway through just so everyone can get a breather and cups of tea or whatever. So I think you'll find it's a very exciting race tomorrow. I think a lot of the exciting racing is held at Sheffield. It's a big track with a bit of dirt, and not many people could say they love it, but it's a track where it's big enough to, if you make a mistake, you can always get back. So I think it'll be really exciting and really, really good to watch.
Morning of the race, and Lee and his dad washed down the bikes from a meeting last night. His dad carries out most of the work on Lee's bike in the garage at home.
takes, just to prepare the bike and get it ready for the next meeting, it will roughly take about 4 to 5 hours. That's to get it prepped and totally ready, but sometimes you may have to leave a bit to fix a bit or something like that. So it all depends on what needs doing, if something needs fixing or something like that.
Whilst his dad finishes prepping the bike, Lee makes sure he's got all his race gear in order.
Well, I wear my boots, which are Daytona boots. You have one of them's got a sole, the left one's got a flat sole, which you have your steel shoe on. So when you're going across the floor, it slides, just so it don't wreck your boot basically. Another one's got a proper sole with grooves and your tread. And I have my Kevlar suit, which I wear over top of my protective clothing, my back protector and stuff like that. So, and you got leg protectors, in case stones hit you or anything like that basically. And there's your helmet as well.
Everything is in check, so it's time to put the bikes in the van and set off to the stadium for the night's event. The crowds are already starting to gather at the Sheffield Speedway Arena. With the introduction to Speedway on television, it's fast becoming one of the most popular motorsports in the country. Grass track racing, closely linked with Speedway, is not so well known.
I think grass track is almost an introduction to speedway racing to some extent. Many people who enter speedway racing have already carved out some sort of experience and a career on grass tracks. They come into speedway, it's much more structured, it's much more professional. British Speedway is the focal point of World Speedway. If you want to be compete with the best and be the best in the business, you have to be in the British League.
Our rider Lee started his career in grass track.
Well, he's always rode on the grass tracks as a junior, schoolboy level, and it was just basically a winter series came up and the proprietor of New Track said, would you like to have a bit of a ride around on one of his show bikes? We went out to a training track or two and they liked him and wanted him to sign a deal up with them to ride for Speedway. But because there was the foot and mouth epidemic on, there was no grass track on, so that is basically how we ended up getting into Speedway.
Speedway and grass track are similar sports, but what are the differences?
Well, I think there's a lot of difference in grass track and Speedway due to the fact that grass track is, the bike's different. One, they're longer in the chassis. Two, they've got gears. They've got first gear, second gear, and they've got neutral. And the back wheel is bigger to pick up more drive. And the grass track bike are smaller, so you can turn a lot more. With grass track, you don't need to turn as hard because they're a lot bigger circuits. But with Speedway, you don't have neutral or gears. You just have your clutch to stop. And you slow down, you don't have any brakes, so I think it is a lot different.
Well, on Speedway you've got 4 riders. It's a bordered circuit, averaging different lengths of the tracks, whereas on grass track you've got usually roped circuit, 12 riders on the line, and you've got suspension on the grass track bikes, whereas you haven't on the Speedway, only the front suspension only.
Back to the event, and Lee introduces us to his teammates.
Well, this is Ricky Ashworth. He's our reserve, number 6 or number 7. Swaps around. He just started this year, coming on really well. He's got a lot of fans and that, which is good. There's another lad who isn't here called James Birkinshaw. He's up there somewhere doing something. But yeah, so and this is Simon Stead. He rides at number 3. He's been around a fair while, ain't he, Simon?
Not that long.
He's is it under 21s?
Back to back.
Yeah, under 21s back to back. You won it here this year, didn't you?
Yeah.
Which is good, and he's progressing, aren't you?
Yep. Round you, mate.
Yeah, no sweat.
Hi, Lee.
This is Sean,
Hi,
the
alright.
skipper, the marvellous. He helps us all when we're in trouble. Need a bike, it's there. He's got some good mechanics. and that, you know, we all work well as a
One
team.
and a half.
Oh, sorry, 1.5.
Good
yeah.
mechanics.
Yeah, 1.5. And, you know, without Sean, I wouldn't be here today because he's, you know, has helped me a lot through all the things I've gone through, you know, even from when I've started. So, you know, he's a good lad and, you know, he's cool.
Thanks, Lee.
It's alright, mate.
Cheers, pal. Yeah, cheers, Lee.
And this is Scott. Which one do you ride now? 5, Scott?
I do.
Yeah, he used to be at number 3, but he switched to number 5. And, well, he's a good lad, you know, at times when he wants to be, right, Scott?
I am.
Yeah, he's been going well this year, you know, kept his average up on par, well, a little bit above me, aren't you, on average, which is good. And I think, well, we have a good laugh, don't we, as a team, really, you know, like, we all get on really, really well together as a team, and I think that's important for everyone, you know. So a lot of other teams are, well, they're from foreign countries, like, so you can understand what the atmosphere like, but yeah, we get on really well with Scott, and, you know, I'd ride with you any day, mate.
Love
And this is
Roger.
Andrew Moore. We'll call him Roger because Roger Moore, you know. But this is Andrew Moore. He's how long have you been riding for Andrew?
3 years now.
3 years, and you know he's up there with the best of them. You know, he has his good days and he has his bad days like everybody else. But round here he's fantastic, and on the away tracks, you know, went to Stoke last time and you got about 14, was it? You know, so everyone's capable of beating Stoke, and I think if we all go for it, we can. And I think with Andrew on side and the whole team together, I think we'll be able to, yeah, definitely.
In the pits, some last minute work on the bike is needed. It's a puncture.
Well, it's spokes that had done it. There was spoke that had done it, I think.
What, puncture?
Yeah. Really weird.
How old's it?
No, it's a newish one, is this? I've retaped it and everything, anyhow.
Lee is still out on the track with his teammates, making sure there's no unsuspecting surprises out there.
So the best thing is when it's like this, right, you're going to get plenty of traction off that start line. And that's really what you need. I mean, like when we go to Stoke in a week's time, believe you and me, right, they ain't going to be out like this other. I mean, when they go to Stoke, they're going to be rock hard, so, you know, we're going to get a bit of an advantage of this, hopefully.
But it really is, it's good, you know, we're all up for it, I think, you know. We've got the track how we want it, so I think, you know, we'll go out there and, you know, give it a good shot.
And how do you feel about the competition tonight?
It's very strong, you know, they're very good round here, you know, but we're even stronger, you know, we should beat them, and hopefully we'll get a good margin to beat them at theirs as well, you know.
So the track is good, but what does Sean the skipper think of tonight's prospects?
I think mentally, I mean, you've got to come in and be 100% determined. I mean, and physically, I mean, we're all, you know, we've been racing since like March, so we're all physically fit. We haven't got any injury, we aren't trailing any injuries at all with any of our riders. So you know, physically we're all sound. It's mentally you've got to come here and you've got to, you know, you've got to keep your heads high, you know, and just hope that it starts off on the right foot. You know, like winning Heat 1 always sets everybody up in a good stance to go out and like take on the rest of the meeting. But we know we've got a lot to do tonight with Stoke. Because Stoke are coming here, they're going to enjoy riding here because it's a fabulous race circuit in Sheffield. And we've got to go to their place on Saturday and, you know, beat them at home. It's going to be on aggregate scoring over both legs. So, you know, we've got to do this, and then we're going to win 2 more meetings out of this. And then if we do that, we collect another trophy for the club, which we've already got one, haven't we? So, you know, so we're all like, you know, it's the end of the season for a lot of clubs, but like for us, we're starting to win some trophies now. You know, we've raced all year, now the trophies are coming, and it's a great feeling. So mentally tonight, we all know this, and we've just got to think, right, we're the better team, we're going to get the trophies, and end of the day, there's nobody can beat these lads around here, you know what I mean? They're absolutely fabulous. I'm glad I'm not riding against them.
I remember when I was younger now, actually going up to Sean Wilson and saying, "Can I have your autograph?" and that. It's weird, you know, how little kids come up to me now, and I can still remember the day I went up to Sean and asked him, and you know, and hopefully, you know, that's it. Hopefully in a couple of years when I'm a bit older, I'll be asking all these younger lads who's beating me for their autograph.
That's all for part 1 of Born to Ride. After the break, we'll see how Lee gets on in his races. Welcome back to Born to Ride with me, Neil Mackenzie. This week we're at the Sheffield Speedway Arena with the Sheffield Tigers, who are competing in the first leg semi-final of the Young Shield. Lee is in the first heat. This is sometimes a disadvantage because you can't check out the track and the other riders first. Lee, as number 2, starts on the far right of the gate. This could prove difficult as he's got to cross all the riders in the first corner if he wants to get in front. Lee finishes third in the race. His teammate finishes second, so the team draws that heat with a 3-3. Lee doesn't look happy as he walks back to the pits. Something's not right.
It was spinning up too much. So what I've done is, the tyre's still warm, so I've just dropped the timing a little bit and put a bigger jet in just to get more drive off the turns. Hopefully that'll get the speed back up.
As Dean and Tim race to alter the bike in time, Lee and his skipper Sean look on as his team win another heat.
That's the one, 5-1. That'll do. We need one in next race, come on.
With a few changes to the bike finished, it's time for the next race. The red flag is out, meaning the referee has said it was an unsatisfactory start. The riders line up again. Again, another false start. Surely it's affecting Lee's concentration. Finally, after 2 false starts, the race is underway. In lap 3, Chris Mills of Stoke loses his chain and comes off, so the red lights are on once again.
Number 6, so we'll have the best of luck with this race, but mostly looking trouble there for Chris Mills. And, well, looks like he's just about to get up on his feet. That's the most important thing. Chris Mills up on his feet. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Eventually, Heat 6 is underway. It's a very close finish, with Lee so nearly catching the second place rider on the line. Another win for the Tigers with a 4-2. Lee storms into the pits. There is obviously still something up with the bike.
What's it doing?
Oh, going out to dirt, it's like...
Is it dying? Is it dying? Talk to me.
How can I tell you what's wrong with it?
Spinning up, that is, isn't it? Hey.
There's a lot of work to do, and with only one race before Lee's next one, the pressure is on. So what's the problem?
Spinning up too much. I'm just trying to kill the motor a little bit with a jet in so it still has the power. When he goes into the dirt, he's saying it's still spinning.
Against all odds, the bike is ready for Lee's third race, and what a race.
And you'll have to go a long way to see Speedway better than that. Speedway
5 heats later, and the home team keep their unbeaten 2-year home record with a convincing 58-32 win. It's looking very promising for the away leg next Saturday. In the arena, the riders parade the track. The crowd show their appreciation for what has been a great night's racing. Lee's night hasn't ended yet though. He's to be presented with a special award.
The presentation was the track people out there. They all get together every year at the end, and they say who has been the exciting rider, the best rider. Not necessarily the best, but the most exciting, or even if they've just tried really hard. And they've give it to me as I think I might have been exciting. I don't know, might have been anything, but they said that I rode really well, and they wanted to present presented it to me really. So I'm really chuffed that they did really, because it might be the only presentation I get all year, but I really enjoyed it, so it's been good.
The bikes are packed up and Lee tells us how he thinks the night has gone.
It's gone really well. I've enjoyed it. I enjoy every time I go out on my bike. It's been a tough meeting. We all knew it would be. We did beat him by a substantial amount, to be honest, and we didn't think we actually were going to beat him by that much, but end of the day we did, and I'm really, well, all teams chuffed with how we did. And I didn't do as good as I thought I would, but end of the day that's how it goes. Sometimes you do really well, sometimes you don't. You have good meetings, you have bad meetings, and I've enjoyed it, and I've put 110% effort in. That's all I can do is try.
The Sheffield Tigers went on to win the away leg with 46 points to 44. The finals against Isle of Wight were extremely eventful. The first leg was lost 44 points to 46. In a very rainy home leg, team captain Sean ended up fighting with one of the opposition on the track, and two of the Isle of Wight riders gesticulated to the home crowd on the way back in after being wound up. There was only to be one winner. With a 54 to 35 win and a 98 to 81 aggregate score, the Tigers lifted the Young Shield to add to the Premiership trophy. That's all from Born to Ride this week. Don't forget to check out the website at meninmotors.co.uk.